hopefully you guys can hear me clearly and whatnot. I bought a few mics for me and Andrew, but you can see by the title of today's video, we're doing a little, I don't know, helpful video, I guess. Just the way that I set up my my fishing backpack. Kind of seems like that's the way most people are going nowadays. Not many people using straight tackle boxes anymore. Typically, people are using the backpack. Number one, it's convenient. You stick it on your back, walk down, take it off, unzip it, take whatever you got out, put it back in, put it back on your back, and keep on walking. So as far as like boat fishing and stuff, it's not as practical, but the kind of fishing me and Andrew do, which is typically kayak fishing, a little bit of boat fishing, but typically, you know, kayak fishing and a little bit of bank fishing as well. So for us, these make total sense. For you guys, maybe they don't make sense, but in this video, I'm going to show you how I set up mine and how I figured out the best way to always know where my stuff is and, you know, keep track of what I need, what I don't need, and what I should be stocking up on. But yeah, that's a little intro I got for you. Let's get right into this thing. Alrighty, so I'm going to rapid fire this because I don't want to keep you guys here too long. You guys don't want to be here too long. You just want to get to the point. You want to know what this video is about and what I am doing today, standing in front of you, looking goofy, as always, in the cold. Anyways, today, easy enough. I'm going to be showing you guys how I put together my tackle box, how I organize my things, and how everything fits into my tackle box as it should. Okay, so number one, that was probably very loud on the microphone, but number one, how a few things that I always bring with me. Number one being the little pouches up front. Usually I have my multi-tools in there. You can pick them up at Walmart, Dick's, wherever you shop. They also everywhere have multi-tools. Definitely a number one thing I recommend everybody has in their tackle box. Number two, for any sort of fishing in the summer or spring or early fall, you want to have some bug spray. Nobody wants to be attacked by gnats or mosquitoes while they're fishing. Let's be real here. Also, another one would be a lighter, God forbid. And then the last one that I recommend you might have in there would be a med kit. Okay, med kit. Thinking about Fortnite, I guess. Would be a first aid kit. Med kit, I guess that's the right thing. A first aid kit would be very convenient to have in your bag. I would recommend to everybody to always have one of those in your boat, your kayak, even your truck, honestly, or car. I would recommend you have one because you just never know nowadays. So, all right, so I'm going to get into this. So first and foremost, my bag happens to have two zippers up top. Okay, the first zipper being where I keep all of my hooks. Okay, it's also where I keep new baits that I haven't opened yet. So Ned rig, frog, and then we're going to get into some hooks. So these are like a wacky rig hook. And then these are just like basic hooks that I picked up from Walmart. And then I got a bunch of stuff that I've gotten from Mystery Tackle Box over the years. Some Texas rig hooks and a whole bunch of other different hooks that I don't use that much. Honestly, I use Texas rig hooks, Ned rig hooks, shaky heads, that type of thing. I use that more than anything just because it's just the type of fishing that me and Andrew do ourselves. So also up top, I do have a bunch of swivels and stuff. You guys know what a swivel is. I don't have to show you that. And also that's where I keep all my extra line when I do have some on me. Also, you should always have some extra line because you just never know when that braid or mono is going to fail on you and not want to work correctly anymore. Just had that happen to me a couple weeks ago. So that's the first pocket. Okay, in the back pocket, the big back pocket, that's where I keep this big old bag of plastics. And then all of my plastics that I own are in that top pocket. My Yamamotos, my Flukes, my Yums, everything that I have is in that top pocket. The reason being, there's really no good way to store them, honestly, in a bag. So throwing them in there is kind of your only option, unless you got individual baggies to put them in, which I've seen some people do on like boats and stuff, on bass boats. But when you're working with a backpack, it's kind of hard. You're kind of limited. But a backpack's also probably the best way you can go about things when you do the type of fishing me and Andrew do, only because it's convenient. It's always on your back. You know, you pick it up, you put it on your back. It's no awkward carry like those big hard ones. I mean, it's probably just the best option out there as far as, you know, a small-time fisherman and not someone with a huge, you know, $100,000 bass boat. So all of our stuff is in that pocket right there. Okay, now, how I do my dividers. Okay, so the first one being my trout divider. In my trout divider, I have things like little spoons, my MEPs, all that type of stuff that I'll use to catch little brookies, little browns, rainbows. Obviously, we'd like to catch some big ones, but for the most part around here, we do little stream fishing, and that would be something I would throw in a little stream, being a MEP. The reason, because they absolutely love them. Stick a little worm on the end of them, and it seems like the trout can't get enough of them. So that is definitely a box that I don't use often, but when I do use it, it's always fun to get out there and you know, try to get after some trout. So okay, second box. This is probably my second most used box in here. This would be my jerk and crankbaits. Okay, in this box I have everything from a 6-inch jerkbait to a tiny little crankbait that I use for things like crappie. Don't fish for crappie and panfish as much, but when I do, I want to be equipped, and I have them in there. A bass or a largemouth, smallmouth, or rock bass even would eat any of those as well. So the reason that I have those in there is because if I want to catch something smaller or target a more wide variety of fish, then I'll throw something on this side over here, which is going to be my little stuff. Okay. If I want to catch something huge or, you know, bigger in size, I'm going to throw one of those big old jerk baits. If I'm just fishing for anything that'll bite, such as bass or walleye or pike, I'm going to throw one of these little square bills most likely. So that is how I set up my my one box full of jerk baits and crankbaits. And let's move on to the next box. So the next box is going to be my Topwater baits, everything besides frogs, because they get their own thing because they're frogs, and frogs are amazing. So in this one, I have my spooks, buzzbait, and a few jitterbugs in here. If you're not familiar with the jitterbug, this is what a jitterbug looks like. It's got a little side-to-side motion, very, very loud, has little beads in it. Absolutely amazing. I've caught a ton of fish on it, mainly smallmouth, and actually I've caught a few bluegill on it as well. So these are just a little tiny spook right here. Don't use those very often, but I do use, this is actually the go-to color for me, this spook all the time. Andrew has a few that are a little bit bigger than this. This is a Super Spook Junior. Absolutely crushes largemouth. Absolutely crushes them. There's a specific time of year where largemouth will go nuts for those. It's typically early summer or late spring, and they absolutely love them. Haven't had a very good run-in with these. I think these are called the paddle. No, I don't even know what these are called, honestly. I know this is an Ozark trail bait, but I haven't really had the best luck with this. Pretty much when you reel, this thing right here just kind of spins, and it just makes like a little wake motion on the water. It looks good, but I haven't ever caught a fish on them. So, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with the buzzbait. Another really good bait for bass. This time of year, you know, when it's really cold, I've actually had a little bit of success with the white color on the buzzbait. Okay, so the next box is my lipless cranks, my jigs, and my spinners. I'm not the biggest fan of lipless, as weird as it sounds. For whatever reason, I feel like I don't get the best motion out of them, so I tend to use like square bills or, you know, round bill crankbaits instead. So I'm not the biggest fan of the lipless ones. I don't use them as much, but I do have a ton of them, mainly from Mystery Tackle Box and stuff like that. But this time of year, this tends to be our go-to on our bait caster when we have finesse on our spinning reel, would be our spinnerbait. Absolutely kills bass this time of year. Absolutely kills them. So if you guys are wondering what to throw this time of year, the spinnerbait would be probably your best option. Put like a little white trailer on this, and kind of similar to this. This one's a little beat up. I used this one the other day. Probably could use a new trailer, I would say. But yeah, I caught a few fish on this the other day, actually. One of our latest videos. Need to restock on the jigs. Got a few in here, but not as many as I should have, because jig fishing is probably one of the better ways to catch bass, even this time of year, and especially during bedding season. So, last but not least, the most important one in my arsenal, because nobody does not like to catch them on frogs, because it's probably the most exhilarating feeling ever when you get absolutely blown up on a frog. So this is my creature baits, Topwater creature baits, and frog box. Okay, so these are things that are based on a real creature or a real animal, whatever, that bass like to eat. This is the box that I throw these things when I'm feeling a little weird. So number one would be my little rat lure. Andrew's got a huge rat lure that he got blown up on a huge pickerel, biggest pickerel he's ever caught. And this is just a little rat lure that I happened to pick up at, I think it was Dick's. It's called a buzz plug. And it is pretty similar to like a buzz bait. It's almost the exact same thing. It's just a rat shape, and the way the hooks and stuff are different. But so the other thing that I've actually caught a few fish on this guy is my little spider. So throw this under trees, let it hang from the tree, and then kind of bring it down, and the bass kind of look at it as a little snack, and they will eat this. We've caught largemouth, smallmouth, and pickerel on these. So Andrew's got a black one. I think it's a black widow, actually, and mine's like, I think this is a wood spider. But and then of course we just have a slew of frogs. Another one right here that I haven't even opened yet. I actually like these frogs a lot, the Booyah frogs. Andrew's a big fan of the Guggen ones, but I tend to like the littler ones a little bit better. Just, you know, wider variety of fish you can catch. But at the same time, the big ones will also eat those little frogs as well. So, excuse me. Okay, last but not least, in this box, I do have my old duck lure. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. His little foot's gone, unfortunately. A little pickerel probably took that from him. But he has caught quite a few fish for me, and I can't complain. I did get that from a mystery tackle box, and I probably won't ever buy another one. So if I do lose that, rest in peace to the duck lure on Upstate Outdoors. But that is going to wrap up this one. Pretty short video for you guys, and hopefully, even with it being short, you guys were able to tune in and, you know, watch the majority of the video. I am curious to know, though, what you guys thought of the video and what you guys do yourselves as far as how you set up your bag. And also, what are you guys looking forward to this year as far as our channel? Are you looking forward to ice fishing more, or are you looking forward to a little bit more bass fishing before the ice does come? I can tell you, we like to live in the present, but we are looking forward to the future of this channel and ice fishing. So, but yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Hopefully this sounded good. I just bought this little mic thing, and I figured I would test it out for the video. I don't know if you can kind of see it right there. And hopefully it sounds good, because I didn't really do any checks on it. So if I go back and look at this and I didn't set it up correctly, that would really suck. But yeah, it's going to wrap this one up. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Me and Andrew will see you guys in the next one. As always, you bodacious grubs, enjoy the outdoors.